Oh my god, hi! So Rare Beauty came out with an eyeshadow palette. We're gonna play with it today, including an eyebrow gel, which I am actually intrigued by. So I don't know if you noticed, but I have not finished my brows fully. So we're also going to be using this, but I wanna do my eyeshadow first. So the new Rare Beauty eyeshadow palette is called the Essential Neutrals palette. Neutrals palette. I hate these stupid things, but luckily the names are on the back of the palette. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. When you have to keep them, it's the worst. So we got some neutrals, you know what I mean? I feel like the vibes, the tones and everything going very much with my current background and everything. So we got 5 matte shades and we have 3 shimmers of varying shimmer size. It looks like pearl size. We have this one that looks like real glittery, and then these two are looking like ever so slightly more satin. And then this one seems to be like the most satiny looking, but it's still like pretty shimmery. So I don't know if that is the intention. Let's check out Ulta. So this is for $30 on Ulta.com. You know, it's a neutral palette. Like, it's not like when I opened it, I was like, oh my God, mind blowing, you know? I actually do kind of like the ovally palette. Let me see if they have any. So it says a range of matte and metallic finishes. Okay, so sometimes when it comes to shimmery or like metallics, eyeshadows, the pearls are just different. Like the pearls that are different colors end up being like a different weight, essentially. So sometimes a metallic, like if you have like the same type of shadow formula, it can be a little bit different because of the pearl and how the pearl can be a little bit different. Says easy to use neutral palette, blah, blah, blah. It's matte. It's supposed to be like crease free and also water resistant. So this is going to be interesting. Let's play around, dude. I want to use as many of the shades as I can. All right, so I already primed my lids. And then, yeah, that's basically it. I have a little bit of a primer on. It's like, talk about bullshit. All right, let's see. What do I want to start off with? I have like a base of like I tried to keep my base a little bit more neutral and I guess sort of like berry colored, because there is sort of like a more like burgundy brown in here almost. You know, it's not like so saturated, but there is like more red in here. It's like a little bit more like red purpley than your typical brown. And I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but well, we'll see. So I think I'm gonna start off. Do I want to start off with that color? I think I want to start off with the gray one. Oh, this one? I think I want to start off with that. What the fuck? What is that called? That is Timeless Taupe. Okay? Taupe. Love. All right, so I'm going to grab a small blending brush. I'm just going to go in with my Rephr 14 because it's a go-to. Okay, so there isn't a lot of kickback. Well, no, there isn't a lot of kickback when I dip my brush in, which I always appreciate seeing. When there is a lot of kickback, sometimes it's like due to filler in the eyeshadow. Sometimes it's due to like a heavy pigment, like it ends up being really, really pigmented. When there isn't a lot of kickback, sometimes it means that the powder itself is pressed, more firm. And usually that means that it's the thing that I threw. Ziva is attacking. Buddy! It means that the pigment is going to be like a little bit more fine and firmly pressed. Think about it sort of like an espresso machine. Have any of you ever used an espresso machine? You know, like you have to do the certain grind amount or whatever and then like press it a certain amount to a certain pressure. That's actually a really bad analogy, but like it's kind of like that basically. Like you're pressing the eyeshadow. So if it's a little bit more firmly pressed, then it might be a little bit more fine. The actual like bits of powder, which usually means that it's going to be a little bit more like easier to blend, a little bit more like fine overall. So I'm gonna look down into my mirror and start off just above where my lid naturally, ooh, I like that color. I love a taupe, especially now that I am back to a platinum blonde. Okay, I went in a little heavy-handed there. Just wiping off my brush and then buffing around the edges. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do right now. But a neutral eyeshadow palette is usually just like so good for a smoky eye, so expect something smoky. Seems relatively easy to blend. I am going in with a very, very gentle application. I do like that color. I think that's nice. I'm just gonna take this in and up towards the front of my brow. It does feel quite soft on the skin, and I did not set my eye primer despite going in with slightly more moisturizing base products, which sometimes if I go in, and by base products what I mean is like my skin prep. Sometimes if I don't set my eye primer because I take that on to my lids, it can be like a little bit too dewy, so you know. Same thing over here, same thing, same thing. Already I can tell that this eyeshadow formula is going to be really good for those of you who tend to go in with a heavy hand. So like if you are someone who has a tendency to just like load up a bunch, like too much product, because it's a little bit more finely milled and firmly pressed, it's hard to build up too much on your brush immediately, you know? So for those of you who are really, really trying to... Why is she doing this to me? The cat, just ignore it. Just ignore it. We're continuing. We're pretending that none of this is happening. Anyway, if you want to build up pigment like really, really fast, or like you want like something a little bit heavier, you don't like to wait around, you might need to work a little bit harder to build up this pigment a little bit. But personally, I'm always like, I'm a little bit more amenable to shadows that need to be like built up a little bit more than like something that you need to be really, really careful and precise with, because it can just, it's a lot like less beginner friendly, and also it's just like you have to be so careful. So if you're in a rush, you can't, basically. Like you can't rush. I like that. I think that's a nice color. Yeah, I think that's nice. I'm gonna take that on my lower lash line. I'm just gonna use the Rephr 02 brush. That same shade, that same shade. And looking up at you, well, I guess not you, you're right there. I'm looking at myself. I'm gonna take this on my lower lash line, and I wanna smoke this. I wanna smoke it out. So I'm starting just under like where my lashes come out of my lower lash line. And I'm just gonna buff that. Obviously starting on the outer corner, but then I'm gonna buff it in and down. I like that a lot. That looks nice. That's pretty. Just want to make sure that this is nice and even. And I'm not gonna bring it up yet at all. Just because I don't want to. All right, so I do like that a lot. That's quite nice. I'm gonna shift to the Rephr Shodo 00 brush, one of my favorites. Love the Shodo collection. And I'm gonna pick up a darker shade. I think I'm gonna go in with, my instinct is bringing me here, but my heart wants to go here. So I feel like we should follow our heart, you know what I mean? So now I'm gonna go into Maroon Mood, just focusing the tip of the brush. Just like when you look at a brush, you can kind of tell, you know what I mean? Like it's nice and evenly dispersed, it looks soft on the brush, and that's really what you want it to look like before you go into your eye. So I'm gonna use this on the outer corner, and I'm connecting it to my lash line. I'm just gonna deepen up my crease. Very nice. And then I'm just gonna blend that up and out. Well, not up, I guess, just kind of out. Pretty. I've been craving just like a matte smoky eye, but I do want to use the shimmers, so don't worry, we'll use them. Okay, just a little back and forth to make sure things are nice and even. Okay, now I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab that really dark brown on a small brush, Refer 29 brush. This tiny little guy, look at this tiny little guy. It's the tiniest little guy. I love a tiny little guy. And I'm gonna dip into that chocolatey, that like deep chocolatey brown, which is Evening Espresso. Speaking of espresso, I'm just gonna make sure that I tap that off because this brush is like tightly packed. And I'm just gonna press this all along the lash line. From inner to outer, because I want it to be smoky. I want the lash line to be smoky. And we are going to be going in with her liquid liners. So I want this to be kind of like a smoky base. And then I'm just taking it up a little bit at the outer corner, just kind of like patting to diffuse. And then I'm just gonna wipe off that brush and go in and just kind of pat and drag a little bit at the edges to create a little more smoke. I want it to be at the lash line, but I just want to like diffuse it ever so slightly. So I'm not going back and forth because my eyelids are just like not gonna be able to handle that. Like it's just too, like if I do this, it's just gonna like create skipping. So I'm just doing like a gentle pat and drag. Okay, so like a nice, I like that color, that's nice. Pretty. I'm gonna take a little bit of that same color on that brush, but I'm just using a little bit less to define my lower line. I always like start doing it before I start telling you, so it's just like I stop myself before I start speaking. Like you can see what I'm doing. I'm defining my lower lash line a little bit more. Again, diffusing inward. I just really, really want to define that lower lash line. I want something that's just going to kind of like open up the eyes, you know? These placements are top tier if you want to make your eyes look big. Like, do not neglect your lower lash line. And if you do, don't take it like right at your lash line, like go underneath, because it just like opens up that waterline and it just like makes your eyes look like, it creates that doe eye look, you know what I mean? Got a little carried away in the inner corner on the lower lash line, so I'm just going back in with that O2 brush to buff it out and soften a little bit. Let's do shimmer. All right, there's so many nice ones. I think I definitely need to use at least 2. So, I mean, I'm feeling this color because I don't really have too much gold going on my look, but it might be nice to use this bronzy color to kind of tie in my gold jewelry, and also it'll create a little bit more contrast. But like, do I want that? Like, if I'm honest with you, I don't even really want to use a shimmer, but I'm gonna, because I have to, you know what I mean? Like, we can't ignore the shimmers. Ooh, quite soft. Oh, that is nice. That's very nice. Ooh, but I like that. I might be boring and I might go with that color. It's really nice. Yeah, you can see, I don't know. I took them off my fingers, but instantly, as soon as I swatch this, you can see the like the pearl bits in it are like more glittery. They're just like larger. I think I'm gonna save that for my inner corner. Yeah, let's just make it smoky. Let's stick with this shade right here because it's sort of just like matching the vibe of all of the colors together. So that is Shimmering Sands. And before I do that, I'm just going to mattify the center of my face a little bit. Okay, better. Let me just use another O2 brush from Rephr. It's basically the same, it's just like a little bit thicker and it's natural hair. So I'm gonna go into whatever that was called, Shimmering Sands, maybe? I don't remember. Tapping it off. And I'm gonna pat in the naked lid area. I wanna make sure that I am connecting it so there isn't like any naked bits left over. That is quite nice. I like that. It's very soft. Ooh, that's very soft. It's sort of like somewhere between, it's like a soft metallic, you know? It's not too, it doesn't have that thick pearl in it. So it's like ever so, like if you're talking metallics, it's ever so slightly more like on the satin side, you know? That's quite nice. I like that. And I'm a sucker for these colors. It actually applies with the brush quite nicely. I wasn't sure because I'm using a natural hair brush and you typically get more payoff when you use a synthetic hairbrush, which is why I like my Sigma E54 for applying lid shadows, but I think that's pretty nice. Any fallout? Any fallout? No, not really. I have a little bit. I like that. I think it's pretty. I just wiped off my brush. I'm gonna soften the edge a little bit because I didn't want it to be so harsh, and it was a little bit more like of a sharp line on this eye. Oh no, let's highlight the inner corner. So I'm doing a very predictable placement of colors. Just to get like a sense of how things work. So now we're gonna go into that very shimmery color, which is Finest Fizz, I think, which makes sense. Sort of like a champagne, a pop of champagne. I'm using my Rephr 03 brush. I'm just gonna pop this, oh, right in the inner corner. I mean, okay, it's metallic. That is a real metallic. Can you see the difference though? Like between, so rude when my camera just shuts off while I'm in the middle of a sentence. Can you see that difference? How glittery that looks compared to this? And these are both supposed to be metallics. So like there are just those major differences in pearls. So these colors you can really get super glittery. I'm just diffusing that down a little bit, and then I'm gonna buff it up to marry it into the sands color, Shimmering Sands, whatever the hell. Ooh! Yeah, that's metallic. I like that, that's beautiful. Look at how much it opens up that inner corner. It's crazy. It's funny, sometimes I get like, soft vibes from Rare Beauty, you know, like soft vibes, like natural, like not quite clean girl aesthetic, but just like soft. And then she includes something like this. Like when she launched the powder highlighters, I was like, damn, all right. She's trying to remind us that like she still loves like an impactful glam moment, you know what I mean? All right, let's go in with a winged liner now. I'll be honest with you, I'm freaking confused about these eyeliners. So I think I've used these in the past. This is the Perfect Strokes Matte Liquid Liner. She has two shades that I'm aware of, black and brown. And for some reason, the brown one is so much tinier and skinnier than the black one. And I'm very confused by that. I don't understand. Also, the packaging in general just looks different. Like it's rounded down here, it's pointy up here. Like I just am confused. So maybe they're doing a switch over with like components. I didn't see anything about that. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Does it say like how much is it up in here, dude? It says it's the same amount. It's the same amount of product. So maybe they're like reducing the amount of plastic. I don't know. They're both 0.9 milliliters, 0.03 fluid ounces. So anyway, we're gonna use the black one. Yeah, because I don't want to use brown. I don't feel like using brown. But what I do appreciate about these is that they are bristles, which I like. I love a bristle. I'm so sick of felt liners. Like, I personally think they should be outlawed. So yeah, and I also like how tiny this is. This one it's thick. You know, like it comes to a nice point, but it's thick. So I don't know. We're just gonna see. We're just gonna see because I have not used this in a very, very, very long time. So I'm going to start this where I ended the smoky liner. I'm just gonna draw. Okay, the end is quite thin, which I like. This is also meant to be matte, which I also really like for a winged liner. I hate it when a winged liner is shiny, like a shiny black. I just don't like that. Ooh, so you can really, really, really get that precision despite how thick it is. And also how chaotic that line drawing just was. But like, listen, the older I get, I'm like not gonna pretend that I'm like amazing at winged liner anymore because like my eye anatomy has just changed so much. Like it's a lot harder for me to like draw just like a smooth line anymore. And I really have to do the like hooded eyeliner. So I'm gonna draw this back. Hello? So now I'm kind of like looking straight into my mirror and I'm drawing it back to where my eyelid creases. It's doing this thing, look at, do you see that? How it's curved like that? It's very, it reminds me of like a calligraphy pen or like those Japanese, like the Japanese like symbol drawing like brushes, you know what I mean? Where it's just, it doesn't necessarily hold its shape. So I feel like I have to keep setting it basically. But you can get a very, very thin line as a result of that. I'm gonna have to do some cleanup. Okay, now I'm gonna bring it, we're basically doing a bat wing situation here. I'm just going to sort of blend this into that smoky liner. Okay, these look like a mess. So I'm gonna get real close, try to do some cleanup here. But this thing keeps like setting into like a curve and I don't like it. I'm gonna use my flick eraser. Which I talked about recently in one of my recent videos about like products that I use almost every day. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the liner. I do like how matte it looks. Like it looks really matte and like this nice inky black. I do like that, but I'm not a fan of those bristles. I don't know, they're too floppy. Like they just flop around. Just going back in with my O2 to kind of buff around where I cleaned up that liner because I basically removed eyeshadow. So I'm not adding any more. I'm just using whatever's left on the brush to kind of like gently blend around. Just blend around, just like blend around. You know what I mean? Definitely not my best winged liner application, but you know, I think we've seen worse actually recently. So actually, before I do mascara, let's finish off the brows. So I am intrigued by the brow gel. So this is the flexible lifting gel, and what I received in the PR said that she wanted to create something that was going to be like a lamination gel, like her version of lamination gel, which always intrigues me because specifically I have very stubborn brow hairs. They're not thick or coarse, which typically you would think of when it comes to like stubborn brow hairs. They're very fine and they're very straight, and they sort of grow downward, especially like, you know, the second half of my brow. So it can just make it like very, very difficult to get anything to stay. And I've been using soap for years, which obviously you would know if you watch my videos. And nothing has ever stood up to the soap. Like, it just hasn't. But I used this the other day just on clean skin. Now, I wasn't wearing any makeup. I was just wearing like sunscreen, you know, my typical skincare. And it seemed to do a very nice job. But that has happened with other products in the past. It really comes down to like when I'm wearing makeup, when I have stuff on my brows, when I go in with my brow pen afterwards to fix everything or like finalize everything. So let's give it a damn shot. So I'm going to start off by brushing down, which is what I do with my soap as well. And then I'm gonna start brushing up. Now I'm not gonna go like full like, oh, like hairs fully like all the way up, because that's not the look I'm going for, but I'm telling you, we will be able to tell if this works for lamination simply if it keeps my brows in the place that I set them, because that's how stubborn my brow hairs are. Okay, so that looks like pretty good. That looks like what I would want. This one's a little more stubborn. Can feel the end being a little more stubborn on this side, like right here. This is a problem, like right in here is a problem area for me. Okay, let's see if those fall while we finish off mascara. So I have mascaras, which I don't know that I've ever used, to be honest with you. This they have two, brown and black. I'm gonna use both. I'm gonna use black on the upper lashes and brown on the lower lashes, and then I'm probably gonna go in with falsies. But I wanna just give it a shot. So I don't even know what that word was gonna be. I'm gonna curl my lashes with my Shiseido lash curler. This is what I've been using recently. I've really been liking it. I'll be honest, I don't think I've used it before, specifically because I usually just write off mascaras because like nothing holds my lashes up unless it's waterproof. So I often will just like give mascaras away. But I wanted to give it a shot. It is quite black. But my lashes are already falling. It's so annoying. It's like the most annoying thing in the entire world. It's like one of the most annoying things. Because there's all these people who like can just curl their lashes and then they like use like a regular old lash mascara or like a tubing mascara, and their lashes look like amazing and long and beautiful. And I'm just like, why? Why? Like, what is that? You know? And I feel like I'm not a good judge for mascara unless you're like me and literally nothing works for you. Like, what is that? It's so annoying. Might be great for the lower lashes though. Whatever. I like how black it is. And maybe it's one of those, maybe it's gonna be one of those mascaras that I just like use underneath falsies, you know? You know? Whatever. Let's use the brown on the lower lash line. I don't usually like a big fluffy brush. It is an interesting brush though. Like, I don't know. It looks like a skinny Christmas tree almost. Do you see that? You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. Failed experiment with the mascara. I really don't like this wand for my lower lash line. It feels like it's just getting on my lash line and not even touching my lash. Like it's barely even getting on my lashes. I'm not happy right now. I'm really glad I'm not going anywhere. Because usually when I use new products, I'm going somewhere. I would be in a really bad mood. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like kind of clumpy. I feel like this would be, yeah, no, I don't like it at all. I feel like this would be one of those mascaras that people like if they have like really thin, long lashes already, you know what I mean? And you like want something that's gonna like build up more volume. Because it seems like it does thicken a bit, but it just doesn't give me the finish that I want at all. Not at all. Literally not at all. Not even a little bit. Disappointing. All right, good times. I just want to buff around here. I wish that I had used a more full coverage primer because you can really, I think I just need to like, that's something that I need to start doing in life. I just need to use full coverage primers. I might have to go back to like MAC Paint Pot or something because I just have so many little imperfections on my lids now. Like up here, I just have all these tiny little like spots that they're not like so obvious, but they bother me. Because it kind of just ends up looking like patchy eyeshadow, you know? Whatever. All right, let's assess these brows. It does look like it's fallen a bit. It does look like it's fallen a bit. It's not horrible, but it does look like it's fallen, yeah. And one of the things that I did notice when I used it on no makeup the other day was that it felt very soft. It's not like crusty or anything, and I just feel like the more flexible formulas, they just don't hold when you have like product in them. So I don't think it's the end of the world because I haven't really been like making my brows look like so laminated. But if you're someone who uses a lot of product other than just the brow gel, like if you just want to like fluff up your brows and you're not using anything else, like a pencil or a powder or a pen, then maybe it'd be good for you. But I don't know. Let's throw down a pen. What do I want to use? Maybe I'll use the, do I need this? Faux Brow from L'Oreal. This is in the shade, I feel like it's just brown, but I need to see, because like, what if it's not? What if it's like red? Oh shit, dude, this is the red one. Thank God I checked that. I gotta be careful with these now. You know, I was a redhead before, so I could be like willy-nilly. Just kidding, I'm gonna use my Anastasia one, which is, I think, also just brown, dark brown. Just to fill in those little gaps. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just like, it's not like you can see, especially in this like problem area where I actually went in and put like a little bit more, it just kind of fell down, you know? Okay, I popped on some self-adhesive lashes from Velour. They're from their Effortless collection. This is the finished eye look. I hope it's not the worst lash application in the entire world. I think it's quite nice. Okay, let's wrap it up. So, the eyeshadow palette. I think it's nice. Like, I think the formulas are nice overall. You know, it's a neutral eyeshadow palette. I think the colors that they chose are nice. I do appreciate that they like included the burgundy to kind of like, you know, give you a little bit of wiggle room. It's not just like your typical neutral palette where you have like just like neutrals, because neutral can be interpreted in different ways for like different skin tones. So I kind of appreciate that there's like a little bit of variation in there. That being said, this is nothing new. Like it's not like we haven't seen this before, you know? I do think that the matte formulas are nice. I think they're blendable and easy to use. But there's enough pigment there that they'll work for a multitude of skin tones. And I do like the metallics as well. Again, they're nothing that we like groundbreaking, nothing that we haven't seen before, but like pretty tones. So if you need a neutral palette and you have been interested in this, or you love Rare Beauty and you want to support them, then like, I think it's perfectly fine to make a purchase. You know what I mean? If you don't need a neutral palette, if you have like 5 neutral palettes already, you can probably skip it. That's how I feel. I have a hair poking me in the eye and it's probably my lash. And I need to handle that right now. 1 second, please. Got it. All right, we're good. So yeah, 30 bucks. I don't know. I do like the packaging. Like, I think it's cute, like for travel size. I think it's like a nice size and it comes with a mirror and... All right. I don't like the eyeliner. So obviously I didn't use the brown one. I don't know if they're like making some kind of a move. This one appears to be the same, like bristles or whatever. I like that it's very inky. It was really hard to draw with. It just kept like, it's just the bristles are too floppy. They're too floppy. And on the ends, it would just stay in that position. And it's just like, it makes it really difficult. There needs to be a little bit more stiffness at the end. Like you need to have that happy medium. You don't want it to be too stiff that it's like skipping over the skin, but you need to have some so that it holds its shape, because otherwise it's all over the place, you know? So yeah, I'm not a fan. And then also it felt like it kept drying out really quickly. I don't know, maybe it's just like this one in particular, but I had to keep like flipping it upside down and like shaking it out because it kept drying out and quickly, very quickly. So I'm not a fan of the eyeliner. I feel like I've used it in the past and it was fine. So maybe I got a dud. I don't know. And then, the mascara is a no for me. I don't like the wand. It's too big and fluffy. I already said, like, if you have really skinny lashes that have a lot of length and you're looking for volume, it seems to provide volume. But on my lashes, it just kind of got clumpy. I do like that it's like super black. That's nice. The brown color is fine. It's like more of a neutrally brown. It's not like too warm or anything. But I don't like I'm not going to use it. It's not for my lashes. It just isn't. It gave me a very messy application on my lower lash line. So I have much better mascaras that I use. So yeah, definitely a pass for me on the mascara as well. And the brow, I feel like the brow gel is something that I need to continue testing because, like I said, when I used it on clean brows, it held them really well. When I have no makeup on, I'm able to really get the brush to the skin because I'm not worried about like messing up my foundation. If you're someone who does your brows before your foundation, then you are probably more likely to do that, to like this. If you're someone who likes to do your brows after applying your base, like I am, to TBD. Like I'm still thinking about it. Because it is supposed to be like a lamination gel. So if you are not able to like really laminate your brows, then like what's the point, you know? But you know, I think it like held them well enough. Like I'm happy with this, with the way that they set. Like I don't think that it looks bad. They haven't like completely fallen down, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna continue using the brow gel and we'll see where it goes. I do like that shimmer on the lids. All right, guys, I hope that this was helpful in some way if you were interested in any of these products, or like maybe, I feel like I haven't used Rare Beauty in a while, and since they came out with a bunch of eye products, I was like, let's try it out, dude. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Controversial though they may be, or not, I don't know. You let me know. I would love to know like I don't know, if you think I'm like way off, or if you're interested in any of these products. How do you feel about the neutral palette? You know, I feel like it's in the name, like a neutral palette, like it's a neutral palette, you know what I mean? Thanks for watching, subscribe and like and whatever the hell. And I will see you next time, hopefully. I'm gonna be there. Hopefully you're there.